I've been advised by one of my subscribers that Lexus is continuing the ES nameplate. You can see here that in Japan, Toyota has actually registered a trademark for the Lexus ES500e. And you can also see that there's a Lexus ES350e and a Lexus ES350h. So with the trend of electrification, it actually makes sense. So you can see here, there is no longer an ES350. What does that mean? Well, I think that means that we won't be seeing a gas-only version of the Lexus ES. And I think that totally makes sense when you see that the Toyota Camry is now purely a hybrid, but Lexus goes beyond that. They're going to be releasing the Lexus ES350h, which is a hybrid, and you can see that there's a 350e, which is probably a not as powerful electrified vehicle, but battery electric vehicle. And then we have the 500e, which is the more powerful version. One thing that I'm surprised that they did not have an ES550h Plus or a ES450h Plus, meaning there's no plug-in hybrid from what we're seeing here. But who knows? Things could change over time. But this is great news. It also means that the ES nameplate will continue. So before we go and speculate what the 350e, 500e, and the 350h is, let's look at the current 2024 Lexus ES. So right now, this is in Canada, the ES250 all-wheel drive. They also have the ES350, which is 302 horsepower, the V6, and then we have the ES300h, which is probably an older hybrid system, right? So definitely when we look at the newer versions, what does that all mean? Because 300h is only like 215 horsepower, ES350 gives you the 300 horsepower, but we've seen a lot of the 350s, like the 350h's, getting a little bit more, but not close to this 300 horsepower. And the 250 entry level is gone. I don't think we're going to be seeing that at all. So now let's go and look at what do we think about the ES350h was going to look like. So first thing is I would say, let's go and look at the RX, okay? Because the RX does have a 350h, and I think that will be very similar to what we're going to be looking at. So the 350h is right now a 2.5 liter inline 4, and it produces about 246 horsepower. Follow me on Instagram at LSFTvideos. You can see updates on my experience with the NX450h Plus, which may not be shown on any future videos. You can reach out to me via direct messaging if you have any questions on your Lexus. If you like this video, you can provide me feedback in the comments below, like this video, share it with your friends. This definitely will help with the YouTube algorithms. Press the subscribe button and bell icon and get notified when new videos show up. And lastly, if you want to support me further, you can provide me a super thanks. Or visit my Amazon storefront before you purchase anything from Amazon, or you can purchase products from the list on the items that I've been using with my vehicle or at home at no extra cost to you. And now let's continue with the video. But then when you look at that, that doesn't seem to be right? Because definitely this is a current 4th generation hybrid system, and we'll be looking at this 350h should be a 5th generation hybrid system. So the only version of a 5th generation hybrid system from Toyota with a 2.5 liter engine is the Camry, the 2025 Camry. And when you look at that, it's about 225 horsepower to 232 horsepower. And when you compare that to the RX 350h with 346, it seems like it doesn't make sense, right? But you can see the efficiency is like 4.6 or 5.1 liters, which is extremely good. But when you compare that to the RX, that just seems that it's a little bit different. The RX getting 246 horsepower. So what I think what will happen is when you look at the Camry of 232, I think they will be able to probably meet the 246 horsepower with the 350h. But then you can see the 6.3 and 6.8. Probably they're looking at a little bit closer to 5.8, 5.9, like about 6 liters per 100. So that will see better fuel efficiency, and matching similar power. I think that's the only way you can differentiate between the ES, the Lexus, versus a Camry. I think the biggest thing is probably the ES350e and the 500e, the both battery electric vehicle, because we don't have a lot of information on that. Because when we look into, let's say, the RZ, if you look at the specification, this is the RZ450e, right? So the 450e right now is about 300 horsepower. And when you compare that to the NX450h Plus, it is also about 300 horsepower. So when you look at the 350e, I would say that we're talking about probably a little bit under the 450e, right? So it probably would give you close to, I would say, the 350, the 2.4 liter engine like specs. So if we go back to the RX and look at the 350, it's about 275 horsepower. So what I'm going to be thinking is the 350e will give you approximately the 275 horsepower. And then when we look into from a 0 to 100 kilometers or 60, we're talking about probably 6 seconds range. From the electric vehicle range, I think it can actually do better. It can be a little bit faster, but really, if you're looking for 350e, I think you're not looking for performance, but you're more looking for efficiency, right? So with that in mind, I think we will be thinking about 350e as the efficiency model, and then the 500e will become the performance model. So if we look at the 500e, I would say if we take the RX 500h with 367 horsepower, I think it'll be within that range as well. And then the biggest thing is really range. Because right now, with the RZ, it gives you 54 kilometers of range, and that has always been not enough. If we can actually get a range about 400 kilometers or 450, I think that will actually suffice. What do you think? Do you think that the 500e will actually be performing like a 375 horsepower ES, which is actually faster than today's V6? I think that will actually be quite good for electric sedan. And then when you look into the 350e, which actually gives you the, I would say, economy version of a battery electric vehicle, and I think that if they can actually spool down that performance and get you the range you need with about a 70 something to 80 kilowatt hour battery, I think that will sell well as well. So let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Are you excited with an ES nameplate that is going to be carried forward into the electrification and the battery electric world? I think this is extremely good news because they're not releasing an EZ. Maybe they don't want it in EZ400 or EZ500e. It just feels so easy, and that's why they were keeping the ES. But I think that nameplate is important because that is one of the nameplates that created Lexus as well. We have the LS and the ES. And now if you see that they kept the ES, will they keep the LS? Leave in the comments below, what do you think? And are you excited with this ES? That's coming probably in 2025. So what do you think about the look of the ES? Will it follow the TX trend and actually make it look like a TX? Or they'll make some enhancements to it. So here I've actually mocked up a TX version of the ES. What do you think? Do you think this is elegant enough? Do you think this trend will work? Let me know in comments below. And what do you think? If this will become the 2025 or maybe the 2026 Lexus ES. I hope that you found that this video was informative, and until next video, drive safely. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please comment, like, share this video, and if you want to see more videos like this, you can subscribe to my channel and press that bell icon to get notified when new videos are posted. And if you'd like to support this channel, you can provide me a super thanks. And until next time, cheers.